Welcome to the Daily Globe. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. The world is witnessing a seismic shift in global trade, a transformation that is reshaping the very foundations of how nations interact, exchange goods, and build alliances. The old order, long dominated by Western powers, is being challenged by new players and fresh ambitions. At the heart of this transformation lies Southeast Asia, a region once seen as a crossroads, now emerging as a powerful engine of growth and innovation. Its ports are busier than ever, its cities are thriving, and its influence is growing on the world stage. The recent visit of Chinese President Xi Jinping to Malaysia resulted in a landmark solar panel agreement, but this deal is far more than a simple exchange of technology or investment. It represents a calculated strategic move in the ongoing global power game, signaling a new era of cooperation and competition. This pact is a clear signal of China's intent to build an alternative economic order, one that is less dependent on the West and more closely tied to its neighbors in the ASEAN bloc. By deepening these relationships, China is laying the groundwork for a new network of influence and opportunity. For Malaysia, the agreement is a golden opportunity. It positions the country as a leader in green technology, opening doors to new industries, jobs, and investments. Malaysia now stands at the forefront of a rapidly changing economic landscape, with the potential to shape the region's future. The impact of this deal stretches far beyond solar panels. It ripples through global supply chains, influences the currencies used in trade, and challenges decades-old rules and norms established by Western economies. The very mechanics of international commerce are being rewritten. China is leveraging its vast economic resources not through military might, but through trade, investment, and infrastructure. By positioning itself as a reliable partner for developing nations, China is quietly but steadily expanding its sphere of influence, offering an alternative path to prosperity. This agreement is just one piece of a much larger puzzle, a puzzle that, when complete, could fundamentally redefine the balance of global power and the rules by which nations engage with one another. As the world stands on the brink of a new era, the questions facing us are profound and urgent. Will this be the dawn of a truly multipolar trade order, where influence is shared and new voices are heard? Is this the rise of a multipolar trade order, where no single nation or bloc dominates but instead, a tapestry of partnerships and rivalries shapes the future? What does this mean for American influence, which has long set the tone for global commerce and diplomacy? Will the U.S. adapt to these changes or risk being sidelined in the New World Order? And how will these shifts shape the green future we all aspire to? As nations race to lead in renewable energy and sustainable technology, the stakes have never been higher for our planet and our economies. The Kuala Lumpur deal is more than just a headline. It marks a pivotal turning point in the unfolding story of Asia's rise and the dawn of a new chapter in global trade. To truly understand the significance of the 2025 solar agreement between Malaysia and China, we need to look beyond the headlines and examine the long-standing relationship that has shaped both nations' destinies. The deep roots of Malaysia-China relations stretch back decades, built on mutual respect, shared interests, and a vision for regional stability and prosperity. In 1974, Malaysia made history as the first ASEAN nation to establish diplomatic ties with China. This bold move laid a foundation of trust and cooperation that has endured through political shifts, economic cycles, and global challenges. Over the years, economic ties have flourished. China has been Malaysia's top trading partner since 2009, with bilateral trade reaching an impressive $212 billion in 2024. This robust exchange fuels growth, creates jobs, and strengthens both economies. But this relationship is about more than just numbers. It's about integrated supply chains, cross-border investments, and a shared commitment to innovation and sustainable development. Malaysian factories and Chinese investors work hand in hand, driving progress in sectors from electronics to green energy. However, the global landscape is shifting. U.S.-China trade tensions have complicated matters, especially for Malaysia's solar industry, which has grown to become the world's third largest. Navigating these challenges requires adaptability and strategic thinking. Recent U.S. tariffs on Chinese solar panels have pushed Beijing to seek friendlier markets and reliable partners. Malaysia, with its skilled workforce and open economy, has emerged as a key strategic ally for China in the region. Today, the partnership has matured into a strategic alignment. Both nations are working together to build resilience, diversify supply chains, and ensure long-term prosperity for their people. China needs reliable partners to navigate an uncertain world, while Malaysia aspires to become a global economic node, connecting East and West through innovation and collaboration. This long and evolving history has set the stage for today's bold, forward-looking alliance, one that promises to shape the future of both nations and the region for generations to come. President Xi Jinping's April 2025 visit to Kuala Lumpur was a clear signal of Malaysia's rising importance to China. This was more than a diplomatic stop, it was a strategic move to reinforce China's partnership with ASEAN. Xi's meetings with Malaysia's King and Prime Minister covered everything from Belt and Road projects to cultural exchanges, all with a tone of partnership and mutual respect. As ASEAN chair, Malaysia's influence is pivotal, and China's engagement aims to shape the regional agenda. The visit also set the stage for Kuala Lumpur to host the first official RCEP summit, further cementing the region's role in global commerce. By securing high-profile agreements, China is building consensus and steering Southeast Asia toward its strategic priorities. Xi's visit was about laying the groundwork for a closer, more integrated future. The highlight of President Xi Jinping's visit to Malaysia was the signing of a truly landmark agreement in August 2025, one that is already being called a game-changer for both countries. This historic deal centers on the solar panel industry, a sector at the heart of the global transition to clean energy. The agreement was finalized after months of high-level negotiations, reflecting the growing strategic partnership between China and Malaysia. For the first time ever, Malaysian-made solar panels will enjoy tariff-free access to the vast Chinese market. This is a major breakthrough not just for Malaysia's green economy, but for the entire Southeast Asian region. The move is expected to supercharge Malaysia's solar exports, opening up new opportunities for local manufacturers, and positioning the country as a key supplier in Asia's renewable energy boom. The deal goes far beyond just removing tariffs. It streamlines customs procedures, slashes bureaucratic red tape, and actively encourages joint ventures between Malaysian and Chinese companies. This means Malaysian firms can now embed themselves deeper into China's renewable supply chain, gaining access to new technologies, expertise, and investment from the world's largest green tech market. Officials estimate that Malaysia's solar exports could surge by as much as 30% within just 2 years. This rapid growth is expected to create thousands of new jobs, spur innovation, and attract significant foreign investment into Malaysia's clean energy sector, further strengthening the country's industrial base. The benefits of this agreement extend well beyond Malaysian companies. American and European firms with manufacturing operations in Malaysia will also gain tariff-free access to China, turning Malaysia into a strategic export hub for global players seeking entry into the Chinese market. By weaving Western business interests into its partnership with China, Malaysia is strengthening its appeal as a global investment destination. This multi-layered deal not only deepens economic ties with China, but also positions Malaysia as a bridge between East and West in the fast-growing green technology sector. For Malaysia's industrial future, this agreement represents a quantum leap, ushering in a new era of high-tech manufacturing, sustainable growth, and international collaboration. Designed for broad and lasting impact, the pact cements Malaysia's role as a central player in the global race for green technology leadership, setting the stage for even greater achievements in the years ahead. The Malaysia-China Solar Pact is set to transform Malaysia's economy and ripple across the globe. As the world's third-largest solar panel producer, Malaysia will see expanded factories, more high-skilled jobs, and a surge in local demand. The deal makes Malaysia a magnet for foreign investment, especially from US and European firms seeking access to China. Malaysia becomes a superconnector, bridging East and West in the solar industry. The agreement also fits China's China Plus One strategy, encouraging Chinese firms to invest in Malaysia and diversify supply chains. Beyond solar, the pact is part of a broader push to de-dollarize trade, settling transactions in local currencies, and reducing reliance on the US dollar. This shift strengthens financial sovereignty and chips away at dollar dominance. The deal is a cornerstone in building a new, resilient economic order. The solar agreement is a strategic move that shifts the balance of power in Southeast Asia. For the US, Malaysia's deepening ties with China are a warning sign of waning influence in the region. As ASEAN chair, Malaysia's actions could inspire other members to align more closely with Beijing. China's offer of stable, long-term economic partnership is increasingly attractive compared to unpredictable US policies. The deal is a powerful example of China's soft power, using trade, not force, to win allies. In the new order, economic ties are proving more influential than military might. The Malaysia-China Solar Pact is set to reshape global supply chains for renewable energy. By giving Malaysian factories tariff-free access, China diversifies its sources and insulates itself from disruptions. This shift from a China-centric to a China plus one model, with Malaysia as the key partner, will drive down global solar panel prices. Lower prices will accelerate solar adoption worldwide, boosting the fight against climate change. Western firms with Malaysian factories now have a backdoor into China, bypassing tariffs and thriving in both markets. Malaysia becomes a neutral hub, blurring the lines of economic competition. The agreement is a template for more resilient, regionalized supply chains. It's a pioneering model for the future of global trade. Experts agree, the Malaysia-China solar deal is a game changer. Dr. Lin Mei calls it the first domino in a series that will reshape Asia's energy and political landscape. James Chin sees it as part of China's grand strategy to build a new global order, less reliant on the US dollar and Western institutions. The deal's use of local currencies and regional trade blocs like RCEP is central to this vision. Willie Wolap Lam notes Malaysia's pivotal role as ASEAN chair and a tech leader, making it a key partner for China. By aligning with Malaysia, China multiplies its influence across ASEAN. The consensus: this is not business as usual, but the architecture of a new era drawn up in Asia. The Solar Pact is both symbol and catalyst for this global shift. The Malaysia-China Solar Agreement is a window into the future of globalization. The world is moving from a unipolar to a multipolar order, with Asia at the center. Economic statecraft is now as important as military power, and China is winning influence through trade and investment. Malaysia's strategic agility has secured it a place as a green tech leader and a model for other nations. Regional blocs and bilateral deals are building a more decentralized, resilient global system. This is not the end of globalization, but its transformation, more diverse, more complex, and more Asian. The challenge for the world is to adapt, seizing new opportunities while managing competition wisely. The future of trade will be negotiated among many, not dictated by one.